Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirisho here, and now, before we begin, let's give a brief little review. In the last part, a lot of things have happened to Deku. He has been in a strange position. He was on top of the world, the hero of Granola, and then he was cursed. He had his friends die in front of him. He couldn't even strike the man down. He was barely able to use magic against him, and nothing he threw at him seemed to be effective. He had nothing left. He had a broken sword, and Sir Theodore took him back to Granola to try and recover. The injuries he saw Deku afflicted by, they were horrifying when he saw the scars. And the fact was, Izuku, he would scream. He'd rage out. He would talk to people who weren't there. For all intents and purposes, he was losing his marbles. Nothing they could try broke the curse. And whenever Indra finally regained consciousness 3 weeks later, it was pretty bad. And right now, Deku, he made a decision. After talking to Nuva, the goddess of the moon, she gave him a minor blessing. It won't do too much to counteract his curse. His curse comes from below, but something from above will help him. During the night, he will find a small reprieve. And this, it doesn't seem like much, but as days have gone by, Deku's noticed his curse has gotten worse. And that small reprieve may not help, but it'll take the benefit while it still is useful. Theodore challenged Izuku whenever Deku finally pushed him away, and he decided to fight his mentor. Deku, he broke the man's wrist. He cut him all over his body with his weapon. Then he abused those injuries, and he even broke his nose again. Theodore took Deku seriously in their fight. And the kid, had they had an extensive battle like this, had he really wanted to kill him, he would have done it. Theodore would have taken him down, but he would have sustained major injuries. He saw how calm Deku was during the battle. He might have been losing his marbles, but something about his life being in danger puts him at ease. It's where his mind is focused. And that, it's what he needs right now. He packed up books from the library, and Indra, she has begun the journey with him. They have started a quest. They will find Atrigue and undergo his journey. They will undergo his training after said journey. Now, with that being said, another 2 weeks have passed, if not a little bit more time. It's almost been 14 and a half months. And Izuku, he does have a lot going through his mind. Run on him flying through the air as Indra does talk about it. They shouldn't be too far away now. Though, does he really think that training is good? It should be fine. But I haven't seen many creatures on the way there. Him going to bring his hand up. And right now, he does go to find a shooting pain to his left. Before he does go to bring his hand up and air brake. Before he does a look around and try to think. Before he does a look down. Seeing a man who is going to wave his hands. When he does a look a bit closer, he does recognize him. His face is rotting. And he does a cackle out with laughter, bursting out into black smoke. As Deku, he does go to blink, closing his eyes and going to turn back, before he does go to see flames rising in the distance to his right. And that's not good. before he's at turn looking over at her, who does at turn herself and notice them beginning to rise up. And those flames, they would have missed. Him flying over and trying to see what's going on. And we do currently have a situation. People, they were just trying to move through the area. However, monster attacks have been bad. A carriage is currently upturned and on its side. And Deku, whenever he does go landing down, he has a turn, seeing large packs of creatures that do go to snarl. And one in particular, it is an alpha. Him seeing that, before he does go to stand there. And a man, he does come running out from behind cover, screaming for them to run, since they don't have anyone to face it. Staring at the man who does have the strange red cloak, turning to his companion, who's... Huh? They must be adventurers. But that doesn't make sense. The creature rushing Deku, and he does turn to Indra, asking if it's real, or if he's just seeing things. And she has to confirm that that creature is real, along with the others around it. Him going to bring his hand up and manifesting his blade. The man watching as they just step forwards, and he does go to disappear. The next second, he does a turn, feeling the rush of wind as he does see that the creatures, they do just sit on the ground, all seeping blood, and that it does surprise him. Deku standing up and turning to the large creature, the hound staring at him, as he has been a step forwards and gonna flick his blade free of blood, before talking about it. Now, if it is gonna fight him. He really needs this. He hasn't killed something in a minute, and he needs something to keep him occupied. It rushing at him, as is a roar out, and Izuku does still move in. Him going in and then going to leap up, using his whirlwind slash and cutting the beast apart. It going to hit the ground, as its head, it does fall first, then its arms and parts of its torso. The large creature going to crash down with a loud thud, before Izuku does it hit the ground and then go to stand, before talking about it. That worked. Turning to Indra. How much longer do we have? We should still have another week or two. Do you feel better? A little bit. But still. Your dad's place is pretty far. We teleported to Granola. We're heading far away. We could go at maximum speed, but we'd leave Zavtop behind. Yeah, that's true. Him turning, telling his companion about what's going on. They've gotten in a bit of trouble. Dial back around and wait. They need to set up camp soon anyways. And the man does come running over. Deku turning and bringing his weapon up. As the group of people rushing towards him, it does mean a fade. It showing one person staying there. Deku's blade up to his throat. The backside of it, however, digging in. And he does go to express. He shouldn't sneak up on someone with a weapon, especially whenever it turned into a battlefield. I thank you. Him grabbing his head. The man staring at the strange warrior. His eyes. He's wearing a bandana and a red cloak. Deku fully turning in the man, staring at him. A torso riddled with large scars. You don't need to. Listen, I'm just happy I took it out. That's really it. It's good to get stronger. It wasn't much of a challenge, though. The man's eyes going wide, turning his head to the large creature that's about the size of a wagon. And now, just like his own wagon, is in pieces. Before turning back to the stranger, the symbol on his chest, he's an adventurer. And from what he can tell, a well fought one. The wound on his lower chest and the large one zagging across it. I mean, how is he still alive? This on his mind. Before Deku does talk about it. No, turning his head to the left. They can't. Besides, that's not how. They're fake. Are you okay? He's been cursed. Her turning to the man. And the man does look at her, clearing his throat. I see, stepping backwards. Is it bad? Not yet. He's a special case. Is he now? I'm not trying to insinuate anything, but he's carrying around a interesting weapon. Drop it. The man going to look at Deku, who does express. He's just carrying around a simple blade. That is it. He didn't see anything. I understand. No, that's not what I'm insinuating. I do not wish to steal from you. You couldn't steal from me even if you tried. I would kill you. And that's even without the blade. Again, he's a special case. I see. Well, if it's not too much, would you be able to aid my village? You see, the wagon, it's fine. We need to go. But my village will go with you. That's what I meant. Sorry, I'm not doing too good right now. Him walking over. The man watching as Deku does go to begin grabbing some of the things that are on the ground, disappearing as he does begin to pick them up. Her walking over and doing the same thing. And this might be good for Izuku. They need a break anyways. And there is the man, he does gotta detach his carriage from the dead animal that was pulling it. And Izuku, he does mean to pull it with one of his hands. Him and Ninja talking as the man, he is still a bit astonished. He's just moving. He picked it up and they were able to fix it faster than he's ever seen. I mean, the wheel is odd, but it's functional. And right now, that does intrigue him. He's using water magic to simulate a simple wagon wheel. And the man does don't stare at Deku. The amount of concentration for that spell, it's higher than anything he's seen before. Who exactly are the people in front of him? The man trying to guide them down the road. And when they do eventually pull into the village, Izuku does a stare. The scene going to be tinted red. Before there is where flames begin to pour up from the houses. Him turning and seeing a man who does go to pull someone apart. Deku hearing a crunching noise as the body does to fall. And he has to close his eyes. Before he does go to feel his hands shaking, and he does begin to crush the wood in his hands. And Indra does ask, bring a hand to his shoulder. Him does want to jump. Is he alright? Fine. I'm fine. Sorry, it's just for a second there it was. Never mind. I'm fine. Is he? He's fine. Her expressing. a little harsher than she wanted to. Exactly what are we doing here? We're wasting time. Azoth going to fly down and land in front of Deku. The man stumbling backwards and screaming out a stumble of curses. As he does, going to walk up to Deku and go chirp at him. Yeah, I know. We might rest here. I'm not really too sure. Though, do you guys have a tavern? Well, we do, but that's not the issue here. Okay, what is it? The thing I killed? Yes, about that. You're looking for a quest, correct? There's some on the board there, and the area around here does need much to do with safety. There are many problems. We may not be able to pay you directly, but the next large town you do find, they do send a runner with our quest. There are copies there. We're not exactly here to clear quest. We're on one of our own. He is correct. If you do need help, then perhaps we may send someone your direction. But for now, I do not know if there is any of our undertaking that we'll pursue. Please, you don't understand. The area isn't safe. Him turning to the man. And the man does look directly at Deku's eyes. The black sclera and the red glow to them. As he does talk about it. What exactly do they have to... Izuku? That's odd. What is it? I'm interested now, actually. What exactly is going on? Him lowering his hand. Though he does this, I'll bring it up and scratch at the space on his bandana, telling the man, right now there's a lot to do. So what do they have? They can start with lunch. Hopefully, though, it's something good. Then they can look at those quests. The man nodding. And being a bit more happy, they're willing to comply. Them heading into town as people do go to turn their heads looking at a wagon, doing a double take as they do look at the wheel, before they do look back at the large creature sitting on the back, which does currently resemble a Jenga tower after it's fallen over. A bunch of large pieces scattered and put back on, and the trail of blood that is going to follow outside the village is a pretty clear sign that this thing stopped bleeding a while back, but it's still fresh. And it does worry some of them. They were about to send out a party to search the area, though when they do see this strange man and this strange woman, they do get to somewhat stare at the man being pulled by the wagon, happy to see he's alive. Though when he does it to give the news about the others, it isn't quite unfortunate. They will send people to try and retrieve the bodies. But whenever they do somewhat turn seeing these two strange people, they are wary of them. They're powerful. And right now they aren't in a very large city. But quite clearly, if they wanted to do harm, they wouldn't have helped. And an old man does go approach them warily, trying to ask the two exactly who they might be. Bring up his hand. Deku holding up his right as the man is a stare at the runes on them. Him intrigued. Deku shaking it and expressing. They're just passing through. They saw the fire and thought it was going to be more serious. I didn't do very much. I'm Indra. Is that all I got? For now. We are quite busy on our own journey. And I do hope that journey does involve helping out if you can. We can, sure. But what do you need? There's something here that needs doing, correct? Deku hearing a sound. Turning and looking down. The man staring at Deku's eyes do have an unnatural glow, and he does see the third quest tab go to pop, expressing to look for quest at the guild hall, and to take on at least 5 of them a day for 1 week. And he does go to mutter, fucking bullshit. What is it? It's nothing. Is something bothering you, young man? It's fine. Where's a place we can get food? I'm assuming it's going to be covered, if not a little bit more free. We'll stay here and help clear the area since it's been dangerous. You will? That was going to be your next question, wasn't it? You're the mayor. You introduce yourself to me, you be polite, you ask me for aid, you offer me a reward. That's typically how I've done this for a while. But I have kind of turned down the reward a few times. I'm not in it for that, but do you think that you have someone who can cook up and dice that creature? The beast? Yeah. Give it to the guild to do what it will with the organs. The meat and stuff I'll take. The fur and hide could be useful. The hide is affected by powerful magic. It repels ice. It could take some time. We don't have the proper tools. I guess I'll do it myself then. Though, that's going to be a bit of a bitch. I see, young man. Well then, you will cover your stay at the inn. For now, though, I can see about finding a butcher to help you with that. Do you have experience with this? I have some, but it hasn't been this extensive. Usually I do bring things in. Though, if it's something quickly, I can get parts that I need. I see. Yeah. Though, it's good. Then I'm going to turn. Him pulling the wagon away. And the man just won't stare on. As Izuku does do it with one hand. Trying to think about what else to do. And whenever they do to find the inn, they do drop the wagon off there. Before he does go to turn. Them making their way over to the guild and seeing what's going on. And the woman behind the desk, she does get the surprise of her life when they're finally here. And the town hall, it does get a bit of stir. Right now, them going to walk directly over to the quest board and Deku staring at the minuscule amount they do have. There are some for novice adventurers. There's a goblin killing quest, another goblin killing quest. Jeez, are those all the same quests posted the same thing? Okay, so the hound in the area, they killed that one. I'm pulling it free. Enjoy pointing something out. That's odd. What is it? There's something living in a dungeon nearby. Her pointing at the board, talking about it. There's quite a few dangerous items here. Okay, we can investigate all of them, but these are all simple quests. There's a lot of them too. The woman expressing, excuse me? Him turning to the woman, and she does a flinch backwards, taking half a step before stealing herself. You could collect the herbs. Handle some of the quests today? Potentially. We also do put in requests with the town hall for certain items we may need. Materials that are hard to come by? Like? Well, chopping wood is one of them because we don't get many tools in the area. We mainly do have swords, and those who do have axes aren't too good at that. Also, raw material. It's harder to get. It may be possible to find some in the dungeon, but with much of the danger around the town, it's nearly impossible. Both of them looking at each other. I'm gonna sigh as there is a bit later. Right now, they do go to end the day at the inn. They got lunch, and Izuku, he spent some time taking apart that creature he killed, finding that its hide was indeed strange. Though it did begin to lose magical effects about an hour after he took it off the skin. And right now, he is intrigued if it is enchanted, if it might maintain this effect, or if there's a way to turn it off. He was hoping it could have been used as a travel blanket, maybe something to keep warm. Though, if it's just going to be one of the things he does have in his inventory, like the dragon bones, it's going to take up space, and then it's going to get annoying. Him and her going to get up the next day and start on somebody's quest. And after a week does pass, they do go to leave. Rhino people quite happy about what's happened. The dungeon's been cleared, and there is materials. They can start harvesting from nearby. The area is safer. The large creature is dead, the goblins are dead, and they've been able to help out, clearing areas in town that haven't been cleared in a while. And they do just want to thank the strangers. Before Deku, he does get a turn. Someone going to kick something as he has a turn, bringing his hand up, going to catch the ball that did go to nearly hit him. He has a look down and turn his head, seeing that he does have a ball wrapped in leathers. Before he does drop it, and a kid does get a stare at him. Them somewhat moving backwards a bit, scared of the adventurer. And Izuku, he does get to feel this strange sensation in his head, where he's a bend down and go to grab the ball, rolling it back over to the kid as Indra does it a watch. The kid stepping forwards, apologizing for nearly hitting him. You're fine. It's alright. It's interesting. Forest is a bit safer, so I wouldn't recommend going there still. But that's about it. Who are you? I'm an adventurer. I think my mom's told me about you. Your eyes are scary. Yeah, I know. Listen, do you want to see magic? You have magic? Some of the other kids stepping forwards, as Deku does bring his hand, and he does feel a sharp pain in his mind. Him watching the scene change before him. However, whenever his hands do start shaking, he does go to close them in a fist. Before he is sucking a breath, and Indra does watch. The scene going to play past Izuku as he does open his eyes. Before he does how butterflies get to sprout from everywhere. And people do get to watch on. They go standing up and clapping his hands together, pulling them apart and letting them fly, as he has a manifest wings from behind his back. As Seth walking up as the kids do get to see the dragon. And he has a turn, patting his familiar on the head, talking about it. They should be going. You can't stay? Him turning, before he has to turn away and talk about it. No, they can't. Are you sure? Him turning back, and his vision, it does go to glance at the person behind them. The thing standing there. It cackling out with mad laughter, holding a weapon up and over the kid's head, before going to slam down, trying to swing. It disappearing into black smoke as things do go back to normal. He does talk about it, trying to keep a straight face. It's not good for them to stay. He's got to undergo some training. and maybe learn a bit more from a new teacher. Okay. Um, they go flying up into the air. Indra flying after him as he does get a turn. Right on him, creating his wings and going to have his cloak fly out around him. And everyone, they do to watch this man fly off. Him, a strange man who helped them, but kind. And it is something that they will remember. Deku, hearing his system ping, telling him about he did complete the quest. And right now, he is rewarded with experience. Her asking about what they were doing there. They could have already been talking to her dad. I know. Sorry, just something worked. And I was testing a theory. What theory? Just never mind. Him going to fly a little faster. Astoth going to catch up to them as he does go to flap his wings, telling his master about how they will not be left behind. As I turn to the dragon, telling it, maybe it should stop eating so much food. Then it could fly a bit faster, make its way past him. And the three, they do go to get further than they would have thought. Them making a good distance in the next couple hours. Whether to sit down and go to make a campfire. Indra going to unroll her bag as she does a turn. It manifesting in her hands as she does a sit down a tent and go to wave her hand. It began to assemble, turning her head and looking at Deku, who does sit there with a goblet in his hand and going to drink from it. Bringing up the silver cup and going to stare at the campfire as she does wonder what's going through his head. Bringing his hand up and going to unwrap the bandana, staring at the odd symbol that does go to cover his head. Though there is where a flicker of blue does appear on it. It's slightly changing shade for a minute. As Izuku does look back and stare at the moon, going to suck in a breath and go to sit there, trying to just enjoy the dullness he does feel, trying to feel something about this calm. It's fleeting, but that split second, it does feel good. He does feel something, and it's nice, and it's better than he thought. Are you alright? No. Would you like to talk about it? Do you have a bottle? I carry some. It's not dwarven ale, but it is quite strong. Him gesturing to her, talking about it. That does work. He's not really picky. He's just hoping not to have dreams again. Is it every night? Sometimes. It's been getting worse. At first it was small things in the corner of my vision, and then bad nightmares. Bad nightmares. But in the last month, things have been realer. I'd say worse. I'd see them briefly, but some of them are getting longer. I'm not sure what it means. It is the curse of madness, Izuku. But it's been changed from what Theodore has said. This curse is affecting you and you alone. I believe if it is from below, then They wish to break you. They didn't. They did. They did not. They did. Are you? I'm not answering that. When we get to my father, he will ask you the same question. I do not push because I'm your friend. You're you're still alive. I don't know what he saw in you, but you don't think I don't ask myself that question? I was only spared because of my father. Everything is because of my father. Blame him for meeting me then. I blame him for a lot of things. Meeting you was not one of them. Are you going to sleep? I've already casted the runes to keep the campsite safe. Though I'm not going to sleep for a minute. I'm going to try and enjoy this. Not much for a heartfelt speech. Fuck off. Just need some time to myself. I'll set up my own camp, my own tent later. Her nodding, as she does go to crawl into her tent and lay down, hearing Izuku muttering a bit to himself, just trying to go over a few things. Him pulling a book out from his inventory and trying to go over something she knows he's looking into. And many of the other days they do spend it traveling do go this way. And they do arrive to the location that Indra has talked about. 2 weeks behind schedule. And right now, that's bad. They were hoping to get here quickly, but having to wait for Aztoth, setting up camp, and then going to help out those people, yeah, they've been a little delayed. And she does go to land down on a mountaintop, talking about it. They're here. Before she does turn and look at the area, it resembling a campsite. There's a large fire pit, a big one, and this is odd. The ground is well traveled. There used to be grass here, but now there's dirt. But he does stare at the chairs. The way they're arranged, there's 3. Huh. Turning his head and looking at the steps that do lead down. Her walking down the path and expressing. Her father is going to be quite intrigued to see her again. Though he will be more happy to hear she's alive. Her flinching at her statement and going to freeze. Before trying to pick up expressing. It's going to mean a bit to see him, however. Potentially training him is on the table, but she's not too sure. Trying to quickly change the subject. And he does it to try and ignore it. Talking about it. Whatever they have to do to get this done. It'll be fine. Making the way into a room that does go to the rest of the bottom of the staircase. Turning left and in. And Deku, he does get to see a larger room. There are lights. This is practically an apartment. It does surprise him. Turning his head and looking at the wall. It's open. So, what does this mean, though? Her making way through the kitchen area and going to walk over to the living room, hoping to see her father meditating. However, he's not here. Her turning and going to make her way through the room, before she does go to open a door and make her way down another set of staircases. Him making his way over and trying to figure out what's going on. This place is huge, and right now they do go to find Atrig, the man asleep in his true form. And Indra reaches to see her dad while she's at the top of the staircase. She does go to roar out her father's name. And the man, he does go to open one of his giant serpent eyes before he says sit up and go to stare directly at her. And Deku, when he does go to stand next to her, he does to ask, what exactly are they doing here? It's been some time. I see that. You have grown quite powerful. Him turning his focus directly on the hero, wondering what's going through his mind. There is a freeze staring at his expression. For a second, he does see that look in his eyes. The raw bloodlust. The wrath. The madness. The feeling pouring from him in his aura. It's changed. No, that energy. It's familiar, but it can't be. You've been cursed by something below. Yes. I see. Quite odd. Were you hoping for me to break that curse? No. Him going to turn his head up a little. I see. What were you hoping for? I do not give handouts. If you want my gold, you will have to fight me for it. I don't want your money. Got plenty of my own. More than my own. It's what you can do for me. You come to my home and make a request of me. No. I wish for you to train me. I see. And what makes you think I will undergo this task? I've nearly surpassed Theodore. I could have killed him in our battle, but I didn't. You speak highly. I do not believe you. I think you do. And why is that? Because if you didn't, you wouldn't be wasting your time talking to me. You knew we were coming, didn't you? I know many things, boy. Do not make assumptions. And do not play me for a fool. Deku stepping forwards. The man's staring at him. He truly has gone mad, raising his voice to a dragon in his own home. And Indra does turn her head staring at Deku, expressing, perhaps they should stop? No, I wish to see what he will do. The air shifting around them. And Atrig, he does begin to walk up the staircase as he does express, holding up his hand about how he is merely a human. His growth is exceptional. But that is that. Staring at the wounds on his chest. I see. Now, what exactly have you been doing? I've been trying to get stronger. I've mastered 2 elements. And they would be water and ice. I also have a power that allows me to hurt people. I see. Do you think you can hurt me? One of my skills doesn't work on you. I can't tell how strong you are. I see. You do not see me as a threat. No. That is stupid. It is. I know you won't kill me, as long as your daughter is on my side. Have you noticed her growth? I have. Him turning and seeing not only the power she's gained, but how she is. She does not have her nose rose into the sky. She does not have her posture straight. She is more relaxed, and she does show concern for this man. But she does also... I see. Now, we will talk, and I will tell you what you may do for me. If you are to undergo my training, you will undergo a test of mine. It will not be easy. The journey will be quite dangerous, and you may die. Are those terms acceptable? Sure they are. I see then. What of your other companions? Indra flinching, and Izuku does stare at the man. Him not breaking his face. No smile, no cheeky grin, nothing in his eyes to tell him he knows. They're dead. And how did they die? They died in battle. We were overwhelmed by an enemy. One of the other heroes is dead. It was that bad. I see. Was it that Kirishima boy? You remember his name? Indra asking, a little bit more baffled than anything. He did have the most dangerous ability out of all of them. Of course I would remember. If it would have gotten to its full manifestation, its full peak, I believe it would outclass anything. It was obvious to kill him. Wouldn't you agree, Izuku? I would. If I didn't know any better, I think you're trying to get a rise out of me. I am. Him finally smiling. Expressing. Is it working? It is. But I'm too tired to fight. You're outclassed, and I already know that. It'd be stupid, if not suicidal, to attack you, and I know whatever you're going to send me to kill is a lot stronger. Right now, I want it. He wants it. Do you hear him, Indra? Yes, I see now. Come, we will chat. I may have the perfect quest for you. It will be difficult. It will be crazy. But if you can achieve it, then you will do something for me. That is quite good. My skills aren't necessarily good for you, but perhaps they could do you something better. I specialize in flame magic. I'm attuned to many other elements, but I'm not as powerful in them. I am a true master of my art. I wouldn't expect anything less from a dragon. You shouldn't underestimate us. I am ancient, boy. I've lived longer than you could perceive. I've forgotten more magic than you could know. Him holding up his hand, right in front of the man's face. Him not even flinching. But he does get to stare at his wrist. How do you know this? Do you know what these are? You're almost there. What? You are almost mastering that ability. You have a few things missing. That is the interesting magic. You know what that is? I wouldn't expect anything less. Where did you find that magic? I workshopped something. We took out an elemental cataclysm, with the magic I discovered. It's not in my system, but I'm assuming that's because it's at level 0. It's forbidden, what I've heard. I've had a god herself tell me that. You have. I would not expect anything less. Last time humans have messed with arts like this, they nearly ended the material plane. That was a long time ago. So what can you tell me about it? I may have something in my library. You may read from there. But do not eat in that room. The man walking past him, talking about it. Now come. He will show him where he may train, where he may sleep, and where he may be until he does leave. But until then, rest. It does the mind some good. Him turning and staring at the man, who gonna make his way up the staircase as if nothing happened. And Indra does turn back, looking at Deku, still worried about what the hell he's doing. Talking that way to her dad. Talking that way to Atrig, the Red Dragon. And this, it does give the man some entertainment. Perhaps he may need to contact some old friends. And perhaps he may need to see about something for Izuku. The boy is craving battle. The curse of madness. What it may be and how it may affect him. This is something he hasn't seen in ever. 2 things, in fact. Perhaps it is worth looking into for some time. A quest, however? Yes, a quest. Something fitting of someone of Izuku's caliber, however. Now that is another problem. One he does hope to fix. The man raising a hand and going to sit there. Contacting someone who doesn't answer. Hello? Hello, old friend. What do you want, Atrig? I have a task. Someone wants my training. And you contact me. Yes, I do. They contacted me for training. The hero of Cronulla. One chosen by a DT buff. I see. Why involve me in this? He has forbidden arts, many abilities, and I do sense something in him. I want him to fulfill a task for you, and perhaps tutelage under you may be better than me. I have something I can teach him, but I think it would be best under you. Give him a task, and that will be that. However, test his abilities. See where you do think he does lie. Report back to me. I must make sure to fix a problem of his, however. Once I do that, I will send him your way. You send him wherever you feel it is necessary. I have had a problem approaching on my territory, so I do think this may work out well. Since handling it myself seems odd. Perhaps it would be good to take out an upstart. Oh? Yes, do not concern yourself. I haven't seen the others in centuries. I have not seen you in how long? I believe it to be about 15 years. No, it was longer. It was 22 decades ago. Ah, a short time ago then. Well then, my old friend, let me know. This may have garnered my interest, as well as mine. Him hanging up. Before he just don't sit there and try to think. Flat out giving Izuku the answer to his problem is gonna be stupid. But letting him know he's on the right path? That could be good. Destruction magic. The lost art. Yeah, this is going to be something fun for him to have. Though, putting back on his teacher's hat definitely will get old fast. But he is wondering where his dear old daughter is. Him going to sip some tea and think about that. While Indra, she's going to rest in the room next to Deku's. Him laying there and just trying to get sleep, but finding it not to be possible. He needs to do something. He needs anything to distract himself. And whenever sleep does it finally come, he does it to find himself swirling in a pit of darkness. He does it to feel this ocean bombarding him. And he does it to feel things be a bit off. He does feel something push it back. But that rage, it does push back as well. It roaring out. Before Deku, he does jump up awake and clutch at his chest. Before he does, gonna find himself still, alive, and quite shaken up by what that might be. And he does to remain conscious. He needs to get sleep. And it may take him some time. Wanting to understand these odd dreams he's feel like he's been having. If it's more fate bullshit, he's going to be mad. That giving him a slight chuckle. Before it does gonna break into some sobs. Him chopping at the air. And thinking about what to do. He does it through the jabs. And he does feel like hitting something. It might be the best thing for him right now. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.